Welcome back to They Reminisce Over You, a podcast that takes a nostalgic look back at the best in music, movies, and TV from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite movies, Love Jones. I am dancing a bright beam of light. I am remembering love.
Who am I? They call me brother to the night.
That's all right, baby. All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Love Jones is a film about Nina Mosley, a photographer, and Darius Woodhull, a writer in Chicago.
Very artsy types.
Yes, who have an on again, off again, sometimes toxic, very messy relationship, who can't figure out if they're in love or, air quotes, just kicking it, as they both put it.
Which is what we used to say back in the day before situationship.
Exactly. So it's not only a story about their relationship, but the friendship that they have with other people as well. Their main hangout is this spot called the Sanctuary, where Ed, we'll get into him later.
I'm snapping.
Yes, he hosted the slam poetry night that Darius performed at when they first met. We get to see the creative side in and around Chicago, which was different than the quote unquote hood movies that were out in the early to mid 90s and late 90s. So I'm going to read a little bit of a review from Variety.
Okay.
A sexy and appealing love story set in the flavorsome world of Black bohemians. Yes, of Black bohemians in contempo Chicago.
Contempo?
Not contemporary, but contempo.
Okay.
Love Jones gets it on in a very enjoyable way. Although it becomes a bit contrived and conventional toward the end, writer-director Theodore Witcher's debut shows quite a few good moves, and Lorenz Tate and Nia Long make an attractively hot couple at its center. This sickly made romance will be touted as something new in modern Black films. A look at smart middle-class urbanites without a gun or homeboy in sight.
They were homeboys.
Not the ones they're referring to in this, though. It had a fresh feel along with a sultry jazz and R&B soundtrack. Look to push it towards sharp box office returns.
Well, that didn't happen.
It didn't happen, but that was the review from Variety.
I'm going to start saying contempos.
Yes. Black bohemians in contempo Chicago.
I was surprised they didn't say Chi-Town.
Yes. Oh, man. So before we break down the characters, let's start with the experience of watching it for the first time. What set this apart from other 90s movies for you?
So this came out in 1997. By this time, in terms of like quote unquote Black movies, we had things like Jews, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, which I loved all those movies.
Yeah.
But what happens is when something becomes popular, then people are like, we'll give you some money if you give me something like that.
Right.
And then you kind of get the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Friday was basically just Boys in the Hood, a comedy.
Yes.
And even though we had a few love stories as well prior to Love Jones, we had Poetic Justice and Jason's Lyric. Again, it's like, oh, Boys in the Hood, a love story.
Yeah.
So Love Jones, nobody died.
They didn't.
Hearts get broken.
Yes.
And so it was nice to see just regular 20-somethings navigating life, love, chasing careers, and they just happened to be Black.
Yeah.
This was also kind of what we were talking about in the last episode about Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite coming out in 1997 as well, where both me and you were in our what we thought grown and sexy era was.
We thought we were.
Just coming out of high school. You were a couple years removed from high school, so we were like, oh, we're adults now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like perfect timing, even though they're a little older. It's aspirational because they are a little older, but it's relatable because they're almost peers at the same time. And so it just felt very like, oh, I'm going to live in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Hang out with my friends, have cool apartments.
And go to lounges and listen to jazz.
Chase my careers.
Right.
And maybe break a couple hearts along the way.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, I remember when I watched TLC's Baby, Baby, Baby video, and I was like, oh, this is what college is going to be like. which it wasn't. And then you watch this and you're like, ooh, this is what adulthood's going to be like, which this one was a little more realistic in terms of what adulthood is kind of like.
Yeah, it wasn't a one-to-one experience, but there was definitely some things that happened in the movie that happened around us as well.
Yes. So much more relatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why it has such staying power, is because it feels real. If you didn't experience it directly, you know, it reminds you of your friends or people you know, or people you wish were your friends.
Yeah, I definitely knew people like this, some of which I didn't like, but we kept them around anyway.
Wood.
And they have characters in the movie just like that. So yeah, it did kind of reflect where we were in the world at the time.
I also did want to mention there was one like love story movie that didn't have the backdrop of tough urban life, and that was Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. But that was a little different because they were like professionals, you know, they had business suits and click-clacking down corporate hallways and stuff.
See, Boomerang was for the 30-somethings, whereas this movie is 20-somethings.
So that was fun too. But this one was definitely more good timing in terms of where I was in my life at the time.
Makes sense.
So when you watched it for the first time, did you like it immediately?
I did, but at the same time, I liked everything that was coming out around that time that was targeted towards, air quotes again, us.
Right. Grown and sexy at age 18 to 21.
Yeah, so you get the grown and sexy, you get anything that's like Black reference or quote unquote urban reference, because it was coming fast and heavy at this point. It was post Arsenio Hall show and all Black everything starting to take hold of America for the first time. So I was all in on it. There's a lot of movies that aren't as good as this one that I watched just because of that reason. This was on the better end of what I was liking around that time.
Yeah, I think also 1997, maybe even 96 or so was kind of the cusp of another sort of change.
Yeah.
Like new things were coming out. Like I said, you know, when Boys in the Hood and such came out, it was like, oh, we don't really see movies like this. And then we got a few more.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I want to see something else now. So then you get this and you're like, oh, this is different. And same with the music as well. This is the whole neo soul movement came out around this time. So it was like, not only did we have a lot to choose from, we were at a cusp of something new again. Too.
Yes.
So it's like, now it's like we got new things to discover.
Exactly.
So how would you describe Ms. Nina Mosley?
See, I don't want to say bad things about Nina because it seems like I will come off as sexist.
Okay.
But Nina's just not a very good character. In my opinion.
Okay.
And
break it down.
As we go through this, you'll start to see my point of view on it.
All right.
But from the very beginning, she's trying to be something that she's not. She has I'm the strong, independent woman that don't need no man attitude, but immediately starts flirting with Darius at the bar. Right. I don't know what the time was when she was moving out of her apartment to that night. But she was saying it's played out like 8 tracks.
Right.
And then she sees him at the bar and is like, what you thinking about?
Right.
You deep in thought or something like that.
I think that's just a natural defense mechanism to having your heart broken, basically.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see a cutie at the bar and it's like, oh.
Yeah. See, I don't have a problem with her doing it.
Right.
Because she just got out of this relationship and you know, she's working on her jump shot. She's trying to get some reps up.
Right.
See if she still got it. We don't know how long she's been in a relationship, but she had a fiance.
Long enough.
Yeah.
In theory.
She also says that Darius's poem embarrassed her. But then she gives that little smirk like, I kind of like that shit though.
It's flirting.
Yeah.
She's definitely flirting.
So it seems like she's trying to, like I said, be something that she's not.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to accept that she's a lover girl and wants to be in a relationship with somebody or at least around somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, this is all just defense mechanisms and also just being in your 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how I feel about Nina as a character. She says one thing, but then she basically flirting in front of his friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like standing there saying that you don't know about poetry should be or something like that.
Well, first she's like, it doesn't have to be about sex or something. Yeah. And then that's when he was like, well, what should it be about? Oh, and then stupid Wood. I can't stand Wood. He jumps in. He's like, ain't nobody talking to you. He's like, well, what's wrong with sex?
Yeah. But even when he said that, she didn't even make eye contact with him. She was talking directly to Darius. She answered Darius for something that Wood asked.
Yep. And then wrote love on his hand.
And because he says, well, why don't you come back next week and write a poem about me? And she's like, maybe I will, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm biased, but I just think all of that is typical of a 20-something who just got out of a relationship and then accidentally met a cutie when she wasn't ready to yet.
Yeah. Like I said, I get it, but that just basically describes what you're going to get for the next hour of this movie. So how would you describe Darius?
I feel like Darius is also a typical 20-something, kind of similar to what you were saying. It's like he wants to be in love, but he also is scared of like being hurt again because he also has gotten out of a relationship. Yeah. He's scared of getting hurt again. And I'm sure, 20-something guys don't want to think about being with one woman forever.
Right.
But it's like he's a romantic. He does want to be in love. Him in his cozy sweaters.
And huge leather jackets.
I wish I never met her looking ass. I thought he was very charismatic and cool, but that he was also vulnerable.
Yeah.
And part of that coolness is also, that's his act, right? He first sees Nina. He's trying to play it cool. Oh, look at me, lost in thought.
And then spills a drink.
Then spills his drink because he's all nervous.
Right.
And then he overcompensates by doing this blues for Nina.
Exactly.
But like I said, he seems like a typical 20-something.
Yeah.
I've seen people say that him and, really just like the friend group may have been a little pretentious since they're always like quoting writers and such. But I think the whole point was they're supposed to be creatives.
Yeah.
Right. And I think also there's an element of being young and you're trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah. They don't know what they don't know yet.
And they're trying to impress each other and stuff too. So, if you meet a girl and you're like, oh, she's into the arts, you're going to pull out your quotes and your little jazz alms.
Can I play something for you?
Right. So him writing his book on an old typewriter, I guess, is just par for the course since he's turned himself into a Renaissance man.
But at the same time, it's still 1997. So a typewriter's not too far-fetched.
I mean, it's not as far-fetched as later on, but I mean, he could have had like an old laptop. Well, not old laptop, but what kind of computers and laptops we had at the time.
But at the same time,
had a ThinkPad.
There are some people of our age group, Gen X, who weren't technically or who weren't tech savvy.
But also, I will say, I haven't used a typewriter since I was like a kid, but I will say, since he's a writer, I can see him liking the tactile feeling of a typewriter and hearing the clack, clack, clack.
Right.
So there's also that, because personally I do like certain sounds and textures and stuff as well. So I can see why that might appeal to him. Plus he lives alone, so he doesn't have to worry about like clack, clack, clacking if someone's trying to sleep.
So do you feel like they were a genuine match or just two people caught up in the moment?
I think initially they were probably caught up just because, as all of the reviews say, in our own eyes, these are two good-looking young people. So I'm sure I would think the initial attraction is there. I do think they're a good match, but as Nina kept saying, the timing was always bad.
Yeah. Which
is pretty much what led them to their on again and off again throughout the whole movie.
Right.
It's funny, though, because you could see how they're both trying to deny it. Like she's, as you were saying, she's just like, I just got out of a relationship, yet she keeps flirting. Yeah. So she's denying her feelings. And then even though he's persistent in his pursuit of her, he's denying that it's more than a booty call.
Right.
So like, he's persistent, but he's just like, we're just kicking it.
Yeah, it's nothing.
You made omelets and freshly squeezed orange juice the next morning, being all cute and giggling in the kitchen, but you're just kicking it. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Which is what Saban was saying to him when he was telling him about it. You made a cheese omelet?
That's better than a Michael Jordan comeback.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Do you think they were a genuine match?
I don't. And I'm in the minority on this one. I think that they were right for each other for right then. I don't think they should have stayed together long term. They were definitely just caught up in the moment. She's coming off a relationship. He's coming off one. Two attractive people. Let's see where this goes. And that's the problem. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Okay. So then what do you think was the biggest obstacle then between them? Was it communication, maybe a little bit of pride or fear?
All three.
I agree.
It's definitely all three, because if they had just communicated, none of the movie happens.
Right.
Like the movie would have been 12 minutes long.
Right.
But we had to create some conflict.
Of course.
But individually, it's Nina's pride that doesn't want her to communicate, because she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. And like you mentioned, for Darius, it's fear. I'm not going to let you reject me because we just kicking it. So I'm going to pretend this is less than what it really is.
Even though it was so obvious he was hurt.
Yeah.
When she told him she was going to handle some unfinished business.
Exactly. And speaking of unfinished business, all of this is Josie's fault. If she didn't put this whole test into her head, none of this would have happened.
I'm going to say yes and no. I agree with you because it was Josie's advice that says, hey, tell him if he acts like it's no big deal, then go off to New York.
Yeah.
And if he does, then you don't have to go to New York. So I do hear what you're saying. I would say it's Marvin's fault for coming back, period.
Well, yes. So it's Marvin's fault for coming back, but it's Josie's fault for extending it. Because she could have said, and again, this would have made the movie 27 minutes long. Don't do it. Because immediately...
You know you like him, so like, don't even bother. Marvin is yesterday's news.
Yeah, because her first response was, don't tell Darius.
Yeah.
Just say you're going to New York, but don't say why. But then when she says she didn't want to lie to him, that's when she says, all right, you need to test it. And that was the problem. Like,
do your thing, girl.
Yeah. You don't need to put that in her head.
Okay, maybe she set off a chain of events because Darius didn't have to react the way that he did to.
Yeah.
Oh, we just friends, right?
Yeah. But again, that's him trying to pretend that he doesn't feel anything.
But
he's not hurt by it.
Also, Nina should have seen that he was clearly hurt.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
basically missteps. Crying in his beer.
There's a lot of missteps from everyone along the way.
No, it's cool. We just kicking it, right?
We just kicking it. Oh man. Then he was just like, pouting into his beer. And she's over here like, and I'm like, you can't see his face.
Exactly.
She didn't hit him with an, are you sure? So I say, maybe Josie didn't give the best advice, but Nina and Darius didn't really do well either.
Yeah. But hey, like I said, the outside forces didn't help. So Josie's fault. I'll accept Marvin, but Josie too.
I have a question though.
Okay.
So at the beginning, you see Nina's moving out, which we assume was where her and Marvin were living.
Yes.
And Josie asked her if she's going to return the ring. She's like, if I knew where he was. So how did he know where she was? Because she was staying somewhere else at that point with her house sitting, and he just shows up from New York at her house.
I have a lot of questions about that opening scene because we don't know if they were sharing that apartment. We don't know if it was just her apartment.
And she just decided to move.
Yeah, she decided to move because it's got a bunch of bad memories with it. We don't know why he left. We don't know when he left. And she saw about she don't know where he is. So that tells me he just snuck off in the middle of the night or something.
You don't know where he is.
Or she came home from work and all his shit is gone.
Right.
So I have questions about the opening of the movie as well.
I guess all we needed to know was
they're not together.
Yeah. And it was not a good breakup.
Yeah.
This is not one of those amicable, you know what, we just realized we're not good for each other.
But I want to know though.
This is some bullshit.
I want to know what happened. Because I'm nosy.
So then who do you think had a harder time being vulnerable, Darius or Nina?
Nina. Because she's always on the back foot playing defense. Darius, he didn't admit it, but he did admit how he actually felt about Nina when he was talking to Savine. Yeah. But she can't even admit to Josie that she really likes him.
Yeah.
Because
although Josie knows.
Yeah. She knows.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's Nina has a harder time because like I said, at least Darius did admit it a little bit.
But he admitted it to the wrong person.
He pretended that and then pretended he was joking.
Yeah.
I had you.
Ha ha.
I thought she might have been the one. No, I'm just playing.
Ha ha. I got you. And then he went and cried in his beer again.
Yeah.
Well, I think it seems like Nina is being vulnerable because she actually says stuff. Like she'll say to him things, but she doesn't always follow through or say what she means per se.
Yeah.
Whereas Darius just won't say it at all. So
yeah.
I think they both have a hard time, but they just have a different way of having a hard time of doing it.
Yes. All right. I think that's a good spot for us to take a break. And we'll be right back. This is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. We wanted to take a minute to make a small request of all our listeners. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or Podchaser, leave us a 5-star rating. You can also leave a review as well on Apple, Good Pods, and Podchaser. Ratings and reviews will help us with discoverability, and we want to get this out to as many like-minded folks as we can.
We want to get on the first page of these podcast apps.
And to move up on the charts as well. So help us get the word out.
Make sure to follow and interact with us on social media. Also, check out our website, troypodcast.com. It's where we post links to a lot of the things that we've mentioned in the show, as well as transcripts and themed playlists that supplement our episodes and more.
Thank you again for your support.
Okay, we are back, and now we're going to get into some of our favorite scenes and the supporting characters in the movie. So let's start with some of our favorite scenes first. So to you, which scene best captures the overall feeling of the movie?
So I picked 2.
Okay.
The first one is Nina and Darius riding on his bike.
With no helmets.
Before
helmet laws.
If they did have helmet laws, they weren't going to ruin the shot. So I think this captures the overall feeling of the movie because it's like young, cool city life. That's Nina and Darius right there.
I see what you're saying.
And then the second one was when they went to the Steppers Club because Chicago, showcasing Chicago culture, which was kind of like maybe another supporting character is just these young people in Chicago.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they seemed a little too young to be at that club.
But it is Chicago.
But yes, so then it's just like, it's like they wanted to really integrate that into the movie because they could have just gone to a jazz or an R&B club or something.
Well, they went to the reggae club.
They did
earlier.
go to the reggae club, but specifically it was like, let's do something very Chicago.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was thinking when they first meet at the bar, because it shows what their entire relationship is going to be like. She's standing there being real confident and flirty, and he's spilling drinks on the bar, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And then getting on stage and doing all this brother to the night shit,
right?
Which I can't stand. Trying to be cool. Blues for Nina.
Yeah. What was it? The blues in your left side
trying to be the funk in your right. Like, come on, man. That
ain't that all right? Don't forget the little singing part.
Yes. Like it worked on the other women there at the club, but she's like, whatever.
Oh, side note, I finally looked up like who wrote the poems and stuff. So the person who wrote that poem, he was actually the one who performed first at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
His name is Reginald Gibson. And at the very end of the movie, when Nina does her poem and he's sitting with someone, that's the guy where he's like, all right, Reg, I'll see you later. So I wonder what it was like for him to watch Lorenz Tate perform his poem with all the ladies hollering like, that's my poem. Well, I'm sure he was fine with it, but I would think that'd be kind of an interesting experience. So.
Yes. Well, since you're pulling in tidbits about the movie, so when Nina is taking photographs in the park and she sees this couple on the bridge kissing,
he gets all nosy and takes pictures of them.
Of these people's moment, just taking their picture with no permission. That's the actual Nina and Darius that the movie was based on.
Okay.
So the director, Theodore Witcher, his friend was the guy there, and he's basically wrote the story about their relationship and decided to give them a little shout out in the movie. Cameo. And you can have a little cameo as well, since I'm talking about the both of you.
Right.
So that was something I found out.
Okay, a little fun fact.
Yeah, I found that out
from a Snapple lid fun fact.
Yeah, I found that out from a Reddit thread.
See,
which was random.
Reddit, as long as you stay out of the weird parts of Reddit, it's an interesting place.
It had nothing to do with Love Jones either.
Oh, okay.
Someone's girlfriend bought Love Jones and Cooley High on Blu-ray for this guy. And he's like, look, my girlfriend knows that this Chi-Town boy loves these movies.
Right.
And this guy just out of nowhere, that's my ex-brother-in-law that the movie is about. His name is such and such. Her name is such and such. They were together. They're not together anymore. The movie was written about them. I went to the premiere party, sat next to Nia Long, blah, blah, blah.
That's funny.
But I digress. So which scene do you think captures the chemistry between Darius and Nina?
So I picked a few scenes for this question as well.
Me too.
So as you mentioned, they went to a reggae club. So I picked this scene because there's no dialogue, but you just feel that chemistry between them. That's very cute first date vibes.
Right.
And you're like, kind of smitten with each other, but still kind of shy. And it's just really cute. And the fact that they can portray that without any sort of dialogue, I thought was a good reason to pick that scene.
Right.
But another thing that I really like about the movie is the dialogue, because it's very natural. So when he drops her off at the end of that first date, and she's trying to be like, I ain't trying to go out like that on the first date, because he clearly wants to come upstairs.
Right.
So she's trying to send him home, and then he's like, okay, I should go. They're both trying to, do the right thing, I guess. But then he turns around, he looks at her, and he's like, I just want to come up and talk. And then there's a pause.
Because he knows he's lying. Yes. He just breaks out into
laughing. And then she's like, come on.
Right.
And that is so realistic.
Yeah.
They're doing this dance, they're kissing. Okay, no. I can't do this. All right, I'm going to leave. I just want to come up and talk. But I think that that pause before he started breaking out into laughing was also what made it.
Yeah.
It's like, we both know we're lying.
Yeah, I can't even keep this lie up.
Yep. So I thought that was really genuine. It felt really genuine.
Yeah.
And then the last scene I want to bring out is after they went to the Steppers Club, they're walking by this fountain. And this is their second time trying to come back together.
Yes.
And so, they're walking close together, they're giggling, and because they just had a good time. And then when she wants to bring up the mistakes of the past, she steps back a couple steps away from him, and she's just like, I just want to apologize or whatever. And then they come back closer together. They come, it's a dance of their emotions in a way where they coming closer towards each other, walking back from each other. And then there's little flirtation and stuff. So I thought that was also a good representation of them, breaking up and getting back together,
the
flirting,
flirting,
fighting, mad, happy. It's kind of all portrayed. And it's just them in the dark out there with the backdrop of the fountain.
Yeah, I was thinking the same ones as you when they went to the reggae club and when they went to the Steppers party, because this is them outside, but without friends around. Because
outside forces.
Yeah, so because whenever they're out and there's other people around, something always happens. But when it's just the two of them, they seem to actually be enjoying each other and having a good time. Yeah. They're out dancing at the reggae club. They're randomly running through the park, riding on the motorcycle. Yeah. But whenever they get together and friends are around, something always happens. So those are the moments that I think capture their chemistry.
Okay. So what do you think is the most quotable moment in the film?
You know exactly what it is.
We've been running that to the ground, though.
For years.
I'm going to go out to get some motherfucking toasted oats.
It has nothing to do with Darius and Nina. It's all about Marvin.
Yes.
In his apartment when he comes home from work and there's no
cereal. After a hard day.
He's throwing his hands up to himself. There's nobody else there.
You couldn't eat the Captain Crunch?
I'm sorry. I had a rough day.
Well, I had a hard day too.
So he just goes and sits down and talks to her. He says something slick. She says something slick. And he just looks at her and says, I'm going to get some motherfucking toasted oats. And walks away.
This time when I was rewatching it again, as he's walking away, I had noticed or paid attention to this before. He's muttering under his breath. Yeah. And all I could make out was something about cereal, of course.
I'm going to get some motherfucking toasted oats.
I will say one thing about that scene that is not realistic is that his cereal was in the cupboard and not on top of the fridge. But then we don't know where the fridge is, so because ours isn't on top of the fridge. But
it isn't.
It would be if we had an open fridge space.
Yeah, but he's probably like us and has a cabinet over, so it doesn't go.
Since he is living in New York, so
yes,
it's probably a smaller apartment. But I was like, hey, it's in the cupboard.
I'll let that slide, though.
Well, I was trying to think of other things since we've been running that one to the ground.
I have to choose it.
So this is not one that I've personally quoted, but when Darius says, "You mind if I play you a little something?" And I just picked that because I didn't realize how memorable that line was until we saw that Walmart commercial,
right,
where they did the little throwback to the movie where now we see possibly Nina and Darius as older adults, and he buys her a gift and asks her, "You mind if I play you a little something?" And it's like, oh yeah, that's Love Jones.
Yep.
So I picked that, even though I've never said it really. And another one that I picked, even though I don't like Wood's character, is when he was trying to woo Nina. And he's telling her he'll give her a ride home. And they're like, in the hearse? And he's like, it's a Cadillac. Yeah.
Ain't been no dead motherfuckers in it since I had it.
Yeah, but even though I keep saying I don't like his character, that's what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be annoying.
Exactly. That's what he was there for.
Yeah. That friend who like kind of gets on everybody's nerves, but you've been friends for so long that... Because they didn't even seem like they like him. They're always telling him to shut up.
Yeah.
And he was so like jealous of Darius. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why are you even here? But they probably grew up together.
Yeah, I don't know why he was around. We all know a Wood. Everybody knows a Wood.
It's a Cadillac.
That was funny, though. Cadillac, though.
So those are my other quotable moments in the film.
All right. So if you had to pick one scene to introduce somebody to the movie, which one would it be?
I picked two again, actually.
Okay. You just cheating here.
Yeah. Two different reasons.
Okay.
So the first one I picked was them meeting at the poetry club, the sanctuary, because I mean, it's a good introduction to the movie. Pretty much what you said. You kind of get a peek into what the rest of this movie and their relationship is going to be like. And the second scene I chose was him cooking breakfast, making his freshly squeezed juice, because if you are telling someone, ooh, this is like a love story, I think that scene would pull them in. Yeah. Like, oh, what happens for us to get here?
See what you're saying?
What about you?
I don't know. I've never really thought about that because this was supposed to be for you to answer.
So it's a good thing I came up with two scenes.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You could take one of them. All right.
So let's get into these side characters that we have mentioned already. So Josie is Nina's best friend. We meet her early in the movie after we listen to Hopeless playing and seeing Nina's photos, and her and Nina are packing up the U-Haul. Mm-hmm. Sivan, he's the married one, married with a kid. He seems to be I wouldn't say the leader of the group. The
most settled, maybe the oldest. He seemed like he was probably a little bit older than the rest of them.
So he seems to be a little more stable than the rest of them.
Seems.
Ed, who was hosting the poetry night, he's probably the most level-headed one of all of them because he's always trying to stop fights and calm people down.
He didn't bring in any of his personal drama or anything. We don't know much about his life.
So he seems to be the balance of the group.
Yeah.
And then you got Sheila, who's the token girl. There's always a token girl in this
keep
movie.
The boys in order.
Yeah. And for this movie, it's Sheila.
Right.
I thought my mama was at home.
Right.
And then, of course, the arrogant asshole we've been talking about, Hollywood.
The one to bring conflict.
Yeah. At the very beginning of the movie when Darius goes to the bar, before Nina is even seen, he's talking shit about him as soon as Darius leaves. And Sivan is like, jealousy is a sickness. So that implies that him and Darius have been going at it for a long time.
Yeah. And he keeps losing.
Yeah. So those are the characters, or the supporting characters for the movie. And we see Darius and Nina have one-on-one conversations with these friends throughout the movie. Which one gives the best advice? which one gives the worst?
Well, I agree with you in terms of Ed seeming to be like the most level-headed one. And I wouldn't say, I mean, I guess it's advice, but he really gave Darius a dose of reality when they were just chilling on the beach. And Darius is talking about how he fumbled his last girlfriend and he thinks you only get one true love in life, maybe two. And he's just kind of moaning and groaning. And Ed was just like, love ain't supposed to make sense. He's like, basically, this is your problem. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Love is what you make it. And Darius is just like, right, you right. So it's not, I guess maybe it was good advice because it was just like general, not like you should do this,
Right.
you should tell her that, instead of like telling him what to do.
Yeah.
He just gave him like an overview of how to approach love in general.
Right.
Josie, as you also mentioned, did not always give the best advice.
She did not.
She also suggested that she date Wood after one of the breakups. I'm like, that is terrible advice.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think that's worse than her testing Darius. So she gave bad advice most of the time, but I do appreciate how very supportive she was of Nina, though.
Right.
Even when she knew she was lying, she's like, when she was like, we're just kicking it, she's like, you know what? I'm not going to push it.
Right.
She's like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But she was also very supportive every time. Oh, I know why you came here straight from the station.
Right.
So she wasn't afraid to like call her out either.
Mm-hmm.
And when she told her that they had slept together on the first date, and she's like, "How?" So you can tell they have like a really like close relationship. Yeah, and I think Savon did the same thing for Darius too. Maybe not always the best advice because he was going through his own dramas with his wife.
With Savon, it works because every time that Darius would tell him something, he would call him out and tell him that he's lying.
Yeah.
Like, you say you don't like her, but you do.
Or choking on his cigarette.
Yeah.
The one.
It's like, he can see through Darius and his bullshit immediately.
You got me. You got me.
But at the same time, his advice can't really be taken because look at what he's doing with his wife. Like, she's left already.
She took the kid and she's gone.
Yeah. So,
oh, hey, Darius.
So while he can give good advice, he's not practicing what he's preaching.
He isn't, but then I guess at least he can give him a perspective from someone who's kind of been there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, their kid looks like he was at least maybe 10.
Something like
8
that.
to 10, somewhere between there. So they've been together for a minute.
Yeah.
So even if they're having problems, he ends up bringing some other woman to the party. But at least there's at least experience in some of this advice.
Yeah. But for me, the one who gave the best advice, and it was quick, was Sheila. Because she told him that he moves too fast and women like it slow and easy. She also told him to not take that address and go to her place because what you gonna do when you show up and her man is there? And he's like, well, I didn't even think about that.
But he did it anyway.
Of course you didn't think about that because you moved too fast. So I think it's Sheila that gave him the best advice.
That's true.
Because even when he shows up or they're at the bar talking and Hollywood shows up after he's taken Nina out, before he even gets over to the table, she's like, stay calm.
Yeah.
Don't engage with him. Just stay calm. So I think she gave the best advice.
Yeah. And she was always kind of like, just like Ed as well. She was kind of always kind of keeping everybody in line or trying to. Right. Because like when Wood showed up to her house party with Nina, she was just like, you're fucked up.
Yeah. Why are you doing this?
This is messed up.
Yeah. And my worst advice, I don't need to get into it again, Josie. Not even close. Hands down, she gave the worst advice. And talking about, why don't you go out with Wood? I'm going to hook y'all up.
He's so cute.
He ain't my type, though.
Yeah, because you know he's annoying. That's why.
Exactly.
Why you want to hook her up with him.
Because she's a terrible friend. That's why. She's
I don't think
the
so.
greatest friend and the terrible friend.
I think in the end, she's still a good friend, though.
She is. I just like to say that she's a horrible friend. All right. So this is a good spot for us to take another break, and we'll be right back. Hi, kids. Do you like fun?
Yeah.
We're starting a monthly newsletter called Liner Note. We'll be sharing what we're watching, what we're listening to, throwback YouTube videos, updates on our upcoming projects, random shit you may have missed on the internet, stuff like that. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to troypodcast.com/newsletter. Do it.
Now.
It's good for you.
It'll make your teeth whiter.
And back to the show. All right, so we are back. And when we did our episode about our favorite movie soundtracks, you had Love Jones at the top of the list. Do you think the soundtrack overshadows the movie?
I do not.
Okay.
I think it's a perfect complement. When you listen to the soundtrack, in a way, it's like you're listening to the movie, if that makes any sense, because they incorporate the poems, first of all. Right. So you start with Darius's poem, you end with Nina's. And then because back then, soundtracks were really important. So we're hearing songs that were played in the movie. So when you hear certain songs, you kind of remember that part of the movie. And even the songs that weren't in the movie still captured the same feeling of the movie. I was actually listening to it earlier today, and today is actually like really sunny and stuff. And this soundtrack has to be listened to at night or when it's rainy or cloudy. It's moody, so it is not the same on a bright sunny day. This is not a summertime album unless it's nighttime. But I think it was a good compliment to the movie, though we know it didn't do well in the box office. But I guess probably a lot of people were discovering it through the soundtrack because New Line ended up re-releasing the movie 5 months after its debut because the soundtrack was so popular and people were like, I want to see the movie now.
Yeah, and it's out of theaters.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Little fun fact that I found because I'm sure I didn't watch it in the movie theater where I was growing up. So I don't know. I don't know how I watched it. Probably one of the, the box channels.
Right. So what's the best song on the soundtrack?
I am going to pick Escape's cover of In the Rain.
Okay.
This is actually one of my favorite Escape songs, period. And it was not featured in the movie, but...
And there was an opportunity for them to have it in the movie?
Yeah, like the end scene.
Yes.
And that's why I like just how the song sounds, but to me, it captures that last scene so well. And like I said, it's one of my favorite Escape songs, period, because it really showcases their voices. My close second was Groove Theory's Never Enough.
Okay.
And I also just wanted to point out, I like the Kenny Lattimore song, but I wanted to point it out because I can't listen to Kenny Lattimore without thinking about Michael Jordan. Jam into it, talking about, that's a new Kenny Lattimore.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
He's a good friend of mine.
It's like, who jams to Kenny Lattimore like this?
Michael Jordan, that's
He does. So I cannot listen to Kenny without thinking about Michael jamming. It's not out yet with his little headphones. What do you think is the best song on the soundtrack?
I'm going with Hopeless because it opens the movie and every time something bad happens, that instrumental kicks right back in. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with that one. Every time something bad happens, it's like, here comes Dion.
That's hilarious. I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we're going to move on to another segment called Then and Now. And the first thing I want to ask you is, were there any scenes that you didn't appreciate until watching it later, whether that's 5 years later or last week?
Not really. I think because even though I didn't really have a lot of life lessons under my belt when I first saw it, because I was saying it felt akin to, like, I at least felt the coming of ageness part of it, even if I didn't have a lot of like relationship experience yet. So I think because it always felt like that, even as I got older and had more experiences, that feeling never changed. So I don't really think that there was really anything where I was like, oh, I get it now.
Right.
It's like, even if I didn't personally get it before, I kind of understood what was happening.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about something earlier today, was we kind of had a little Love Jones moment.
Love Jones.
Remember that Rainbow Theater we used to go to?
Yes.
I think it was when we were coming out from the movie and it started to rain like crazy. It was like pouring. And I'm pretty sure this was when we were still just dating and we had to just like wait under the awning for a while.
I don't remember it happening at the movie theater.
It was that area, though. Maybe
but
it wasn't the movie. That Front Street
I remember another time it happened.
Oh, it happened to us twice, actually.
Yeah, when we were like 100 yards from our front door.
That was a different time.
But it was a torrential downpour. We had to hide under an awning in front of this antique shop.
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes waiting for this.
That was when our relationship was a little more established.
Yeah.
So I remember the first one kind of made me think of the more of a Love Jones vibe because we were still just dating. And it was like, oh, we're stuck in the rain. Guess we'll just have to stand here and cuddle under the awning.
Cold and wet.
Yep.
So has your view on Darius and Nina changed from the first time you watched it?
Not really. That pretty much stayed the same. I think because the movie had them at an age where it was kind of like perfect right in the middle, where even if you're a little younger, you get it. And if you're a little older, you can still relate. And so I think that's what makes their characters so timeless. And so for me, it hasn't really changed much.
It has for me, only because then I realized that they were both silly. But I didn't realize how silly they were until I got even older. Because I'm like, y'all are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too, that a lot of this could have been avoided. But I also, at the same time, I think this is very 20s of them. Yeah. Like, I can't see 20-somethings not doing this.
Yeah.
But like looking at it from a 30 to 40-year-old lens, you're just like, y'all, just tell them how you feel, right. Damn it. But I don't, I understand why they behave that way.
Yeah.
So I think I know the answer, your answer to this, but do you think they're still together in 2026?
Nah, nope, not at all. And at first I was going to base it off of the comment from the Reddit thread that I saw that the people that the story was based on, they're not together. They didn't last. They're still good friends, but it just didn't work out for them. So I was going to go with that, but I still say no because they really didn't seem like they wanted to be together in that way. Like it was for that time, not for a long time.
So you think it's just like mostly like passion?
Yeah.
Like it's intense when they're together, but not enough to like sustain the boring times.
Right. Because we see what happened when it's just them at home and they should be able to sit in silence, but they can't.
So they just like caught up in the romance.
Yeah. I think it's the chase that they like and not so much the I caught you.
Yeah.
So I think that they probably would have gotten married and the movie came out in 97.
Yeah.
They would have gotten married in 99 and divorced by 2003.
Okay.
That's what I think. What about you?
I want them to be, but I think that, I mean, you know what? I changed my mind while you were saying this, but I think that they probably wouldn't have been able to handle the long distance, even though Chicago and New York isn't that far from each other. Just given how they've handled other things, I don't know if throwing another obstacle in is going to be helpful.
Yeah, which is why I think they would be done by 03.
But I do think that they like genuinely care about each other.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I just
like, I don't think it's we're just kicking it.
Yeah, it's more than that, regardless of what they say. Like, I just don't think that they're able to handle the quiet moments.
Yeah, the boring parts of the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, I think I agree that they probably, especially, like I said, you throw in this different cities thing, it's just like, nah.
And even if one of them moved, I think it would have been Darius because he seems like he would be the one to do it.
Yeah, and I think it's easier for him to move. I think at that point, her work was a little more based in New York, whereas he's a writer. He can write from anywhere.
I don't think that they still would have been able to make it work.
Yeah.
Even with that.
Yeah.
That's just me.
And I think at that time, too, where by the end of the movie, their careers have kind of gone up another step.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, they're both kind of struggling still. Like he's struggling to finish his first book. She's still looking for work. And by the end of the movie, she's established, much more established now in New York. His first book has come out, so he's probably going to get some more opportunities. So I think that would probably add another possible wrinkle that they would have to overcome in their relationship, balancing their careers. Like, I can't move.
Right.
You have to move. No, why do I have to move?
Exactly.
You know, so.
And here they are doing it all over again.
Yeah, you right.
Glad you came around to my side.
I just wanted them to last, but maybe they'll prove us wrong because we do know that they've made a movie together recently.
They have. It's not a sequel to Love Jones, but from what I've read about it, it's an unofficial type sequel to it because it's based off of the Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite album, which has the connection to Love Jones because Ascension was playing when he bum rushed her at the apartment.
Yes. And then they did a special version of something for the album, like a slowed down version.
So there is a connection between that album and Love Jones. So if it's based off of the album, maybe it'll be Love Jones-ish. No Darius and Nina. It'll be Nina and Clarius are the character names.
All right.
That's all I got. But the movie's called Don't Ever Wonder. I think it's coming out in the spring sometime. I just saw the month, but I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's the spring and it's going to be on Netflix. So
okay. I will be eagerly anticipating the release.
Yes. And they're both in another movie that's coming out next week in the Michael Jackson movie. Lorenz is playing Barry Gordy. Nia is playing Katherine Jackson.
And this is how long it's been that they're playing, like she's playing Michael Jackson's mom.
Right.
And Lorenz is playing Barry Gordy.
Yes.
They're not 20-somethings anymore.
They are not. But
although they both look only a few years older than they used to.
So they're playing adults now.
Yes, like fully grown adults. And not the cusp of adults.
Exactly. So before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to say about Love Jones?
Nah, I think I've dropped enough fun facts and whatnot.
Okay. I have one question and I looked into it, didn't get the answer that satisfied me. Okay. But when Marvin asked for her to come to New York, he gave her a train ticket.
He did.
When she went back to New York for her work, she took the train.
She did.
I looked up the prices and I don't know how accurate this is because I don't remember. But it said that a one-way ticket on the train from Chicago to New York was about $250 in 1997.
Okay.
A one-way flight to New York from Chicago was about the same price. So why take the train?
Yes.
When you could take a 3.5-hour flight.
Is it even that long? From Chicago to
I've never flown from Chicago to New York, so I don't know exactly. But
I feel like it should be shorter.
A lot shorter than taking the train.
Well, it's definitely shorter than taking the train.
Yes.
But I feel like it would be shorter than three hours, but I don't know.
That's all I have to say. Just if anybody out there can confirm ticket prices in that time, because I don't remember.
Well, he couldn't have chased after her. I mean, it would have been I guess he could just still run through the airport.
Yeah, you could run through the airport.
Yeah, back in those days, I forgot you could go all the way up to the gate.
Yes, he could have ran through the airport like OJ. So
yeah, all the way up to the gate.
It didn't have to be the train. That's just.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the train just felt more bohemian.
I can see it. I can see that.
Oh, I'm going to take the train and look at the sights.
Yeah. I was hoping that he would have ran into one of those pillars when he was chasing the train. That would have been great. But that's all I got. Exactly. So on that note, I think this is a good spot for us to wrap this up. Thank you again for listening to They Reminisce Over You. We try to do this every 2 weeks, so make sure you come back and join us for whatever we got coming out next. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, you can do that at our website, troypodcast.com/newsletter. One just came out today. It comes out once a month. It's free. If you don't like it, we will refund your money. If you want to buy some merch, you can go to our store, Nothing But a T-Thang. You can buy t-shirts, hats, mugs, all sorts of stuff. That's at teethang.com, TEETHANG.com. I don't have anything else to say. You don't have anything else to say. This is a good spot to end it. So we'll be talking to y'all in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye.